How does magnetism relate to matter? All right, that is the question for today for number 85 on the list of the 144 fractal faculties of the Tree of Life. If you'd like to get a complete listing of all 144 fractal faculties in abstract form, just click the link in the description and I will send that out to you for free. Also, if you want to brush up on your Tree of Life understanding, just watch my video called Tree of Life, an Introduction. And that should, refresh your memory to the point where you can watch these videos and be able to understand everything that's going on. And if you have no memory of Tree of Life, you don't know anything about it, it should at least give you enough to, to be able to, catch up. Okay, now today we're looking at number 85, okay, and then you see the Tree of Life. The tree is basically a map of our consciousness. Each one of these circles or spheres is an aspect of our consciousness or a faculty of our consciousness. And there are 10 of these. There's also this thing here called the abyss. And there is a 0 above the tree. So there's a total of 12 different faculties of our consciousness that are, included in this diagram. Now, today we are embarking upon the abyss. So we're moving into the abyss. This is kind of the most difficult part of the tree, according to me anyway. But the abyss here has to do with our psychic powers. And our psychic powers more or less boils down to psychic heat and psychic receptivity. Actually, in the opposite order, psychic receptivity is first, and then psychic heat. Psychic receptivity is basically our ability to recognize omens. So when omens happen in our lives, omens are pretty much like a magnetic charge, and they are in our lives. They manifest as anomalies or coincidences, things that are very uncanny, things that causes you to shake your head and be like, wow, that was really weird, or that stuck out in my mind, where you have a recurring name or number or theme, where you go to the store and you see somebody, and then that and then you go to a different place, an entire different place maybe, and then you see their twin brother, and you haven't seen either of them in 5 years or something like that. Something where it's like, wow, that was really strange. That is the universe communicating to us that this is something important to be paying attention to and to kind of reflect upon it. Okay, so that is our psychic receptivity, our ability to know, to recognize omens. And then the second part is the psychic heat. And the psychic heat requires courage for us, because the psychic heat is our ability to take that omen that we recognized and act upon it. So usually when we get the omen, we are able to also get like a what to do about it kind of thing, like how to follow up upon it. And but usually, the thing that we're supposed to follow up, the way that we're supposed to follow up, is something that's going to expose us for kind of believing in that. And we have to put ourselves out there to expose ourselves. We have to raise attention to ourselves, or we have to show this other person, do some kind of outrageous behavior in front of this other person or persons. regardless of how it is, you have, in order to act upon the omen, you're going to end up putting yourself out there, and it requires courage because it's going to be kind of a scary thing for a moment. So that's our psychic heat. So those are really the two components here that go into the abyss. Now, that is one of our 12 faculties of consciousness. Now, when the abyss is used as a second component, well, we'll get into that in just a minute. First, okay, now, so we have the 12 components of consciousness, or the 12 aspects of consciousness. Now, to get from 12 to 144, what we're doing is taking it to the second power. 12 times 12 is 144. So what we're really doing is we're taking the whole tree and we're shrinking it down to the size of one sphere and applying it to each sphere. So here's the second sphere. We break down the second sphere into it's got a mini 10th sphere within it, and a mini 9th sphere, and a mini 8th sphere, and a mini 7th sphere, and a mini 6th sphere, and so on. So the second sphere has 12 different components within itself. These are like minor aspects of consciousness. So these are 12 minor components within the fourth sphere, or the second sphere, 12 minor components within the fourth sphere, 12 minor components within the sixth sphere, and in this case, 12 minor components within the abyss. And today we're looking at the minor component of the 10th sphere. Okay, so we're looking at the 10th sphere within the abyss. We go down here to the 10th sphere, and we can recall that the 10th sphere corresponds to our sense of instinct. This is our life force, and this is also, the body, related to the body or the matter of our, life unit. So this has to do with matter. This has to do with the body. This has to do with material, but this also has to do with the life force. Has to do with instinct, kill or be killed, the law of the jungle. Just our survival, our ability to survive. And that is what is within this abyss right here. Okay? And so those two factors go in to make up number 85, which is called magnetic rotations, novelty, and smoothing. Stage number 85 is about two alternating magnetic motions entering one after another. Each magnetic rotation is two-dimensional, while electricity is one-dimensional. There are two magnetic rotations in all atoms, combined creating 3D, or so-called gravity. This is called uncharged magnetism. They each share each magnetic rotation shares one of their dimensions with the other. So 2 plus 2 really equals 3. Together, they determine the 3D volume of the atom and many other atomic properties. The two alternating magnetic rotations of an atom are rows of the periodic table. The first is a new influence, and the second is a shock-absorbing reaction to the first. Magnetic rotations, novelty, and smoothing. You can think of the novelty part as the psychic receptivity, the new thing that enters into the situation, and you can think of the of the psychic heat as being the smoothing over that novelty. That is the reaction to the novelty. Okay, two-dimensional rotations, solid rotations, or rotating surfaces, two in an atom, dictate atomic volume, dictate interatomic distance, etc., because they are dependent upon gravity. combinations of the two magnetic rotations make the noble gas series of the inert elements. Electric rotations are needed to fill in the gaps between the noble gases on the periodic table. Magnetic is the magnitude of the interaction. Electric is the attraction and or repulsion, or the structure. For novelty, or the psychic receptivity, we must be able to create. No novelty, then it's not an action, but a reaction to something else, perhaps a memory. And our magnetic rotations go up to 4. The two alternate. So there's there's a novelty, then a smoothing. Then there's a novelty and a smoothing. Then there's another novelty and a smoothing. It's kind of like a weave. The two alternate. Electricity and magnetism are just reciprocals and also powers of each other. Magnetism is the surface or the faces of the polyhedra, and electricity is the edges of the polyhedra. Matter, electricity, magnetism, the two magnetisms combined, or the 3D gravity, are the vertexes of the polyhedra. Universal magnetism, two of 4 kinds of magnetism: paramagnetism, diamagnetism, ferromagnetism, and anti-ferromagnetism for all elements, all molecules. So each of the atoms is one of those different kinds of magnetism. Psychic ability is just life communicating through atoms, through 3-dimensional time, through gravity. And our psychic ability is not so much a process of building up chi or life force to obtain the ability, but actually building up chi to remove the blocks that are inhibiting the use of that ability. All right, that there is the 10th fractal of the abyss. That's number 85, magnetic rotations, novelty and smoothing. All right, thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. Stay tuned for future videos on this series of 144 fractal faculties. Again, if you'd like to get that free listing of all the 144 fractal faculties, just click the link in the description. It's just an abstract of each one, a few sentences describing each one. You can compare and contrast them. You can cross-reference, and you can just have the whole list in front of you so that you can learn it faster. You can learn the Tree of Life faster if you combine that with my individual videos. My Cash App and Venmo are also listed in the description if you'd like to donate to the project. Otherwise, just stay tuned for future videos on this channel, and have a great day, and we'll see you very, very soon.